Hey guys, so here we are. It's the last week of the semester, and I'm sure we're all ready to just get out of here and not to come back for 3 months. But don't get too excited because I'm going to talk about school. So I know I can speak for myself and for, I think, a majority of the people that have gone through the American education, specifically high school. And I know we all probably thought at some point, why do I keep learning algebra, U.S. history? Why do I keep learning the same things over and over again that I'm probably not going to use in the field that I want to work in? And I'm sure some of us are even saying that going here for getting our general eds done. So today I'm going to talk about 3 things about the UK education system that America should adopt. Those 3 things are what I call the year system, work experience, and the gap year. So I'm going to start off with a quote from the Organization for Economic Cooperations and Development. It says that 91% of students graduate high school, or they call senior school, in the UK, while only 77% of students graduate high school in the US. And I'm going to start with another quote from Laura Loesch of the Sundial from Cal State Northridge. She says that the UK separates school by 4 stages in a different fashion from the US. Stage 1 covers ages 5 through 6, Stage 2 covers 7 through 10, Stage 3 covers 11 through 13, and 4 covers 14 through 15. Then the 16 and 17-year-olds spend time doing something called the 6th form. The 6th form is an optional portion of school meant to prepare students for college or allow them to spend 2 years in a college that offers courses for the 6th form. So basically, I'm just going to break that down a little bit more so it's more understandable. In the UK, they have school that is, in America, for preschool usually, the UK has pre-prep, which is called reception and years 1 and 2. Then they have prep school, which is it's like a year or 2 before primary school, which is elementary school. Prep school is year 3. Then primary school is from years 4 through 8, which is around ages 6 through 13. Then they have senior school, which is basically high school, which is years 9 through 11. Then they have something that, like I mentioned, the 6th form, which it's kind of like an alternative of doing college. I know in America, college and university mean the same thing, but in the UK, around their junior and senior years, which is years 12 and 13, they can do something called college, which is essentially you're done with all of your GEs, and you're just doing 2 to 3 years of courses that you will want to do, as like an actual career. So it's kind of like a prep for what you'd be doing in university. Then once you hit university, it's usually 3 years, and it's all completely, your major courses. So by year 11, you're completely done with your GEs. Just another few facts about it. In year 11, which is equivalent to our sophomore year, they take something called the GCSEs, which is basically like our KC. So it's basically just pretty much a test on math, science, English, stuff like that. So that's pretty much their the way to get out of the senior school or the high school. Then they have something called GCE A levels, which are what you take in year 13. And those are essentially the same thing as the GCSEs, but they're testing you on, what you've taken in years 12 and 13, whatever major you decided. Then, like I said, in uni or university, you take your 3 years of whatever major you want to do. So pretty much how this system is set up is that students can focus on, their studies at the time. So I know in America, in our junior, senior year, we're doing ACT prep, SAT prep, worrying about college apps while we're still doing school, and it, can have a big effect on people. It can make them not focus as much in school, and it can essentially screw them up even for the test that they're studying for. And then it also gives students like more of a time to plan actually what they're going to do in college instead of, or in university, instead of, in America where we take all these academic classes and then we say, well, I think film is interesting, and then we apply to a university and they say, okay, sure, hopefully you can study film and like it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is a gap year. A gap year is a period of time that most UK students take between year 13 and the first year of university. So essentially, it is literally a year usually that you take to either do like part-time work, do maybe more study somewhere else if you want to, like at a trade school, or just take more time to figure out what you want to do, which is nice because I know here, especially for me, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So it was kind of hard, you're in high school, you graduate, and they're like, go, do something. Go to a university and do something. I don't know, but figure it out. So it's nice that you have an actual, amount of time that's normal. So, if you take off a year, you're not thought of as like stupid or something, or you don't know what you're doing in life. Because a lot of people need that, and it's nice that the UK offers that. So I have a list of skills that taking a gap year can help you hone from prospects.ac.uk. They say that developing transferable skills, communication, leadership, time management, and decision making. You can increase your work experience by paid part-time work or volunteer work. You can learn a new craft, hone your existing skills, and increase your confidence and independence, and kind of just get you out of your comfort zone, basically. And some of the activities, like I mentioned, that you can do during a gap year are conservation work, travel programs, summer schools, and any kind of internship. So the gap year, I believe, gives students the opportunity to focus on, like I said, the last years of their study and to actually not feel rushed and to have time to think about what they actually want to do. Because having to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life at 16 or 17 years old is a really hard thing to do, and you want to have more time to really just focus on it without having to do school and other things at the exact same time. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is work experience. So I could give you guys just another book definition about what it is, but I thought I'll just get someone that's actually been through the UK system and knows what they're talking about, so they can just share their work experience. So I turned to Dan Is Not on Fire, or Dan Howell. He's an English blogger, and he describes work experience as a week that all students take off in year 10, so sophomore year, where you send in applications describing what interests and in future career fields and skills are for you. The government will then try to put you in the best available job that suits you. The point of this is so that you can get an idea of what life is like after school and in the working force. So yeah, basically like Dan said, work experience is a week that you take off that the government will try to put you in an actual job. It's not like a special program that they make with like fake jobs or something. It's actually real businesses that say, okay, we'll let some kids come in for work experience so that they can actually based on what they said they like to do, hopefully the place that they're at will be relatively in the same field of what they said, so that when they work there in a week, they can hopefully have some idea of, I like this, I don't like this. So it's just kind of another way to see if you really want to do what you think you do in university and your life after school. And it's nice that they do it around your sophomore year so that you still have time to figure it out. If you want to take a gap year, that's fine. If you want to do the sixth form, that's fine. But it's nice that they do it right away so that you can kind of figure it out early enough. So yeah, so I know for me, I went to Brea High School and we didn't really have anything like this. I don't think anywhere in America does. but I mean anything in terms of, you know, like figuring out what you want to do later on. It was just, you know, just go through the academic years, you know, do a sport, do something like that, and then graduate and go away. So I know at my school, they, I guess, tried to have something like this, and we took something called a career aptitude test sophomore year, and every sophomore was required to do this. So we'd all go in the libraries at different periods, and we would take this test, you know, basically asking you what your interests are, how much money you want to make, if you want to go abroad or not, and they weren't the best options. I got chef, and I don't know anything about food. Nothing I said had anything to do with food, so I don't know where they got that. And my friend got chimney sweep. So I think it's a pretty accurate test. So today I've talked about work experience, the gap year, and what I call the year system is of how the UK schools are set up. I hope that you guys, you know, one day one of you will become a great California school, you know, board member, and you'll rise up and you'll fix all of these problems for us.
Michelle, what did you think?
I thought her hook was really good. I felt like it was really relatable. Like, yeah, I do learn the same stuff over and over. Nobody's gonna stop. And then, let's see. I thought her preview was very clear. Sometimes with the year system, I got a little bit confused with the numbers, but I still feel like she made her point adequately about it. And then, I really liked the gap year idea in that it fosters work skills. I thought that was a really good point. And also the work experience point that school will actually let you take off a week and try out different careers. I felt like it just proved your point of how interactive and useful it can be and how you can apply it to actual life. And two suggestions I had were to stand closer to the audience just to be more interactive and more personable, and then also add some more stories of people who went through it because I found that really interesting. Overall, big that.
All right, for me, the things that were all a little problematic. First half of the speech is all of this intricate description of the UK system. And there are a lot of terms that have acronyms in them, a bunch of numbers, and it just feels like it's spinning. What is the point? Give us a little bit more comparison. Say, in the UK, at this age, here's what the kids are doing, and here's how it's productive. In the United States, here's what they're doing, and it's not very productive. And I needed more of that kind of comparative argument that's being presented. What I got mostly was a description of that whole system without much data that showed that it works or that it works better than what we have. I can see why you feel critical of the experience that you've had. If you've taken U.S. history 4 times, as long as you're getting it right at this point, what do I need to take it for again? Or algebra or whatever it happens to be. That makes sense. But I'm not sure that that's a universal experience. For instance, the first classes that you take when you go to school have to do with reading and writing. And here you are in college still taking classes in reading and writing. There's often a reason why. And that's not because, well, we just want you to do it over and over again. It's because people aren't acquiring the skills. They they don't develop good reading skills, or their writing skills need to be honed or improved in some way. If everybody had got it the first time through, then you know, get out 8th grade. What the heck do you need to be doing this again for? Where's the demonstration that that's the case? You know, that's the kind of thing that I think is missing a little bit from the speech. I think you do a nice job speaking to the audience, though. I mean, and you're enthusiastic about your topic. I'd agree, I think, with Michelle that a few more examples of the experiences that the UK people have and how it worked for them. The one statistic that I got in the presentation that I thought kind of lends credence to the position that you're taking is the early statistic about the number of students who complete. You know, 91% there and 77% here. That's a gap. That's a pretty big gap. But like you said, they're different systems, you know. And if completion just means going through that one level that is the equivalent of, you know, you're done at 16, and that's 91%. Well, I don't know if we got everybody out of here by the time they were 16, out of our schools by the time they were 16, maybe we wouldn't have that same low level. The gap year thing is an interesting one. By the way, I don't understand. You say, you know, the schools are trying to force you into something the second you get out of high school. How many have been here for more than 2 years? Do we have anybody who's been here more than 2 years? That's kind of strange, because I frequently have students who they're on their 5th year here. You know, they're taking their time, figuring out what they're going to do and where they're going to go and how they're going to figure it out. And so some systems, I mean, it may be that way. They boot you out of Brea High School and want you to go to Cal State or UC Irvine or San Francisco State or UCLA or something like that immediately, and that's it. I can see why that would be a problem, but then you need to show that that's a problem. All right, thank you.